Okay, so I just watched episode 5 of Heated Rivalry, and I was wrong about this show. Not that I ever didn't like the show. In fact, watching the first two episodes after having a mushroom smoothie, it was an experience. But I said that straight allies might want to pass on the show because there was a lot of spicy content, and despite the gorgeous cinematography, the gorgeous men, and the gorgeous everything, I wasn't sure that the show was building to be more than just what the first two episodes were. And that's on me. I will own that. I feel like normally within the first few episodes of a show, you can get a real sense of what the show wants to be. And to be clear, I enjoyed the hell out of those first few episodes, but I wasn't sure how more people would appreciate them. But given the fact that the show is number one on Crave and doing very well on HBO, apparently, I underestimated the Straits. Good job, Straits. But episode 5 was fucking amazing, despite the lack of fucking. The first two episodes certainly had plot, but while avoiding spoilers, the main characters in the first two episodes have a not super healthy dynamic, which makes sense. They're both closeted. They're hot, but closeted. The vibe is very hot and heavy, and one character in particular comes off as hot but brooding. And I'll be honest, I found myself thinking, Hollander, you need to give up this guy and move on to someone who's more emotionally available, and leave him for me, because I believe I can fix him. That would totally happen, because that's how fiction works. Anyway, episode 3 of the show switches up and centers on a completely different set of characters from a previous book in the series that the show is adapting. And I gotta say, the people behind this show really seem to know what they're doing in adapting the source material. Now, I haven't read either book. I get the sense that they looked at book one and were like, we could tell most of the important parts of this book within one episode and a little bit. And it seems to be that that's what they're going to do. And I'll be honest, while I liked those characters, I honestly probably like them more than the two main characters at this point. I don't know that I would have loved a whole season with them. I could be wrong. But I trust these showrunners because they seem to be incredibly talented with how they're pacing the show. Episode 4 goes back to the main cast, and you get this awkward episode that seems like a lot of the fans loved it, but as a the gay who was more invested in these characters and less potentially interested in the compelling writing at the moment, I was very frustrated with them because episode 4 is the one where people make choices that they shouldn't make and you're kind of screaming at the TV. I don't always love that feeling, but they honestly pulled it off so well to the point where I was very frustrated that I had to wait another week for the next episode, which I just finally got to see. And I'm so glad that I have finally gotten to see this episode. I'm trying to think of any better Canadian content in recent years, and I'm blanking. I might be a little biased, but it's really hard for any media, particularly TV shows, to really show character growth, like real character growth. It's hard to sell the audience on this is who the character is, but now there's more to them without it feeling cheap. Oftentimes shows decide that there's going to be more to certain characters, particularly the kind of brooding and a little bit hostile ones, after the writers have just decided that it's so fun to write this character that they're just going to give them more depth. And they retroactively humanize them. But it's pretty clear from the script that this was always planned. But in episode 5, that honestly, I was tearing up the whole episode for different reasons.